This actually happened to a man who thought winter camping meant being alone. He planned the trip because he needed silence, not the peaceful kind people talk about, but the kind that drowns everything else out. It was midwinter when he drove deep into a state forest he had visited once before, back when the trees were green and the trails were alive. This time the road barely looked used, ice layered over packed snow, and for miles there were no tire tracks at all, no signs that anyone had passed through recently. He noticed it, but he didn't turn back. After parking, he hiked for nearly an hour, following what used to be a marked trail until it slowly vanished beneath untouched snow. The deeper he went, the quieter everything became, until even his own footsteps felt intrusive. Eventually, he reached a small clearing surrounded by tall trees, standing unnaturally still. There was no wind, no birds, no animal tracks, just a silence so complete it felt heavy. He set up his tent, started a small fire, and cooked while his dog Bear wandered nearby. As darkness settled in, the forest no longer felt calming. It felt like it was closing in. That was when Bear froze. His body went rigid, ears locked forward, eyes fixed on the tree line. Then he barked, sharp, sudden, and wrong. The man scanned the trees, expecting to see a deer or a fox, and called Bear's name, forcing his voice to stay calm. Bear didn't move. About 15 minutes later, Bear growled again, low and deep, and this time the man heard it too, the unmistakable crunch of footsteps moving slowly through the snow. They weren't random. They weren't circling. They were deliberate. He stood up and shouted into the darkness, asking who was there. The footsteps stopped immediately. For a moment, everything went silent again. Then a shape appeared at the edge of the firelight, a man partially obscured by the trees, not stepping closer, not hiding, just standing there. After a few seconds, the stranger spoke, asking why someone would camp so far out alone. His voice was calm, almost casual, but something about it felt wrong, like he wasn't surprised to find anyone there at all. The camper replied that he was just spending the night and made sure to mention that he was armed. The man laughed, not nervously, not awkwardly, just amused. He said people shouldn't be alone in places like this, then turned and walked back into the darkness. The man watched, waiting to hear footsteps fade away. But they never did. He never heard the stranger leave. He put the fire out immediately. Inside the tent, he stayed fully dressed with his boots on and his weapon within reach. Bear pressed against his chest, trembling but alert. Every sound outside felt louder now, branches shifting, snow sliding from trees, distant movement he couldn't place. Hours passed without sleep. Then Bear growled again. Footsteps approached the tent, slow and careful, until they stopped just outside. The tent fabric shifted slightly, as if someone was standing close enough to brush against it. Bear let out a low howl before he could stop him. His voice shook as he warned whoever was out there to leave, repeating that he was armed. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the footsteps moved away, slow at first, then faster, until they disappeared completely. He didn't sleep after that. He waited for daylight. At first light, he packed everything as fast as he could and hiked straight back to his truck without looking around. He didn't stop driving until the forest was miles behind him and the highway was in front of him. He still camps sometimes, but never alone, and never in that forest again, because some places don't feel empty for a reason. Would you have stayed the night? Comment below.